Good evening, everyone. Just waiting for everybody to make their way into the Zoom room. We'll get started in just a second. Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. So good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. My name is Tim Hoffman. I'm the Assistant Superintendent here at Unionville-Chaddsworth School District. So with me today is Mr. Audevard, our Director of Curriculum and Instruction K-12. And we're also joined by our communications department behind the scenes who are helping keep us organized and on track as we progress through the presentation. Just want to let you know too that this presentation is being recorded, so it will be uploaded to our district website for future reference. So you can access that at your leisure, and you don't have to worry about feel like you need to take notes furiously as we're going through this process. So anyway, we are really excited to be offering full-day kindergarten for the upcoming 25-26 school year. This venture was board approved in 2023-24 school year, and we've been planning for the transition ever since. This week really is a milestone with kindergarten registration opening. So if you haven't registered or would like to register, please do so early because it helps us to make some decisions that are really important regarding the number of staffing and teachers that we need as we implement the program next year. So thank you for registering early. If you have already, if you haven't, please make sure that you visit our website to enroll, because the earlier we get that information, the better prepared we can be. So, but this week really kind of kicks things off, and it really feels like this is really happening, and we're excited about it. So our goal tonight really is to give you a sense of what our program is all about, what you can expect from the program, and what opportunities exist to get to know your local elementary school as we move towards full day K. So we also would like to gather any questions that you may have, so we can put the answers on our frequently asked questions page on our website, and to help us plan any future communications, so to make sure that we are addressing all the questions that our community may have. To begin, I just wanted to share a little bit of background about the information before I turn it over to Mr. Audevard for more specifics on the program. So the decision to move to full-day kindergarten was born from a number of different data points across the district. Our program design is influenced by the work of a number of district committees, specifically our curriculum and our wellness and equity councils. So our goal was to think differently about how we instruct and intervene earlier with students in the area of literacy. We also wanted to think differently about building healthy habits in our students earlier by providing opportunities to be outside on a daily basis and to build in time for structured and unstructured play. We feel that the research really supports these guiding tenets of our program regarding the impact on early intervention and that impact that it can have on future outcomes for students, and the benefits of play and being outside in nature in general, and the reduction of anxiety and improved mental health outcomes as kids get older. So, and to prepare for this transition, our teachers have been writing curriculum, receiving professional development in the areas of active playful learning, which is a term you'll hear more about in the presentation, and nature-based instruction. We've partnered with the Active Playful Learning Network and numerous local outdoor education venues, including Pennsylvania Department of Natural Resources, the Mount Cuba Center, Stroud Water Research, the Brandywine Valley Association, and our strong partnership with Longwood Gardens to give our teachers the skills they need to build purposeful play into their day and to teach effectively while having students outside in nature. So to be clear, this is not a full day of being outside, but we wanted to build in daily opportunities to get outside to both play and learn. So I also wanted to thank a number of folks that helped with this process and helped to bring this to fruition. I'd like to thank a number of our private and public programs that helped us and influenced us along the way. Fairville Friends, London Grove Friends, our Hickory Hill Nature School, and Garnet Valley School District and Westchester Area School District were terrific partners in allowing us to visit. We were able to learn from them, ask a lot of questions about their programs, and we feel like our program that we're going to share with you today really melds these worlds together in a way to make a very unique public school kindergarten experience. I also wanted to thank the administrators and board members who worked on and obtained a significant private grant through the Longwood Foundation to help build out and improve upon our outdoor facilities in all of our elementary buildings to accommodate for more outdoor play and more learning outside. So look for major improvements and upgrades in our outdoor spaces at the elementaries over the summer. I think you'll be excited to see those. So at this point, I'd like to turn it over to Mr. Audevard. He's going to take you through the specifics of our program. And again, thank you for being here. We're very excited to share about our program. And we hope that this is an informative session for you today. So at this point, I'm going to turn it over to you, Mr. Audevard.
Dr. Hoffman, thank you so much. And thank you to everyone who's here this evening. As Dr. Hoffman shared, my name is Mike Audevard, and I'm the Director of Curriculum and Instruction for the district. So I have the luxury and privilege of working with all 6 of our schools, including our 4 elementary schools. And we are as excited as could be for our full day kindergarten program starting in the coming fall. So to start us off, everything we do is really guided by the mission of our district and this idea of empower each student to succeed in life and contribute to society. And kind of born out of that idea is what we call our Portrait of a Graduate. Now, the Portrait of a Graduate was something developed a few years ago where we really wanted to articulate what do we want for our kids before they walk across the stage in the cap and gown. And I recognize it may sound a bit ridiculous to be talking about graduation at a kindergarten introduction meeting. But in reality, these 5 points of our guiding star, the Portrait of a Graduate, really all begin in kindergarten. The idea of we want our kids to be inspired to learn, to succeed in life, to contribute to society, to build character, and to take care of themselves and in terms of their wellness, all can start in the kindergarten program. So as we go through kind of some information about full day kindergarten and Unionville Chadds Ford tonight, you're going to hear a couple things that really tie back to these 5 portraits of a graduate, because getting our kids to go off into the world and be successful, that starts right away on day 1 of kindergarten. So as Dr. Hoffman shared, there's really 3 core tenets of our kindergarten program. So within our full day kindergarten program, we're focusing on 1, strong academics with targeted intervention, 2, that active playful learning idea, and 3, a nature-based learning approach. So I want to spend a little time talking about what those 3 things really mean and what that's going to look like for your kids. So theme number 1, the idea of academics and intervention. So of course, academics are going to be at the forefront of your kids' experience in kindergarten. A couple things that we're really looking to focus on. And it's important to note that as compared to our current half-day program, we're not necessarily looking to cover more academic standards or more content, but we're looking to be able to go into greater depth on that same content and really build toward mastery and get to the point where our kids are truly mastering the skills, the competencies that we want for them. A big priority for us is early literacy. And when I talk about early literacy, what that's talking about is everything from phonological awareness to fluency to comprehension. So in other words, everything from knowing letters to associating letters with sounds and being able to put those letters together to form words, put words together to form sentences, and put sentences together to form paragraphs and bigger ideas, both in writing and in reading. So one of the major indicators of future academic success is being at or above benchmark in early literacy skills in early elementary grades. So our goal is to make sure that all of our kids get there. So that's certainly going to be a huge focus of academics in our K program. Our teachers and kids do a great job in the half-day program, but the additional time with a full day, it's going to allow for more instructional time. It's also going to allow for more targeted intervention. Every kid needs something different. We have about 3,900 students in Unionville Chadsford, and no two are exactly alike. Everyone needs something a bit different from one another. And we want to make sure that if we have a couple of students who maybe need a little bit more support in their skills, particularly in reading, that we provide that support. If someone's struggling, we want to find them as early as we can, and it truly is a team approach. So in each of our schools, of course, we have our kindergarten teachers, but there's also reading specialists, there's MTSS coordinators who kind of spearhead a lot of intervention efforts. There's paraprofessionals providing support in the classroom. There's counselors, there's school nurses, psychologists. We take a team approach for everyone. So just know that when it comes to that academics, that's going to be an important piece, that early literacy skills. Every day, your child's going to have English language arts, ELA, and that includes reading, writing, speaking, listening skills, and math instruction. Science and social studies are also super important to us. At kindergarten, that's really going to be integrated into a number of the different parts of the day. And I'm going to speak to that a little bit more in a couple slides. Also part of the day, the other academic portions of the day, is our special area classes. So every day your student will go to phys ed or art or library or music or technology. So they'll get those great enriching experiences as well. So certainly a full, rigorous academic day with a lot of support in place for our kids. Theme number 2. So this is that idea of active, playful learning that Dr. Hoffman spoke of. So many applicable skills can be honed through play, especially when we're talking about young kids, kindergarten age kids. Play provides opportunities to focus on skills that really kind of translate regardless of setting, regardless of content. A lot of our work and research from our full day kindergarten committee has looked at the work of Dr. Kathy Hirsch-Pasek. And Dr. Hirsch-Pasek is a proponent of active playful learning. And active playful learning focuses on the 6 C's, and they're posted up here on the slide presentation. So the idea of working on collaboration skills, how do we give kids the opportunity to work with one another, to create something, to build something, to do something, to complete a task. Regardless of what kids end up doing in life, they're going to have to work with one another. So having those skills and practicing those, super important. Communication skills. There's the academic idea with literacy instruction, but there's also just being able to talk and write and listen to others, and do so in a meaningful and respectful way. So communication really can come through in play. Content knowledge. There's a lot of content knowledge that can be learned through play. Academic skills, facts that can be learned, and also self-regulatory behaviors, knowing when to assert oneself and when to step back and give someone else a turn. And a lot of those things all kind of tie in there. Critical thinking, problem solving, being able to face something and not have the answer right away and figure out what that may be. That also ties with creative innovation, the creativity, thinking of new ways to do things. Having spent time in kindergarten classrooms before, there's few places where creativity is as rich as a group of 25-year-olds in a room together. The ideas that come are fast and furious. So giving kids an outlet for that creativity and innovation, really important through play. And then this one might be my favorite of the 6, or the one I value the most: confidence, persisting through failure. We don't want any of our kids to fail ever, but we do want them to struggle at times, because we want them to be challenged and to face things that are difficult for them so that they can persist through. So through play, there's the opportunity for that. So we are really excited. Our kindergarten teachers are really excited to work and implement active playful learning in their classrooms. And that's going to be a core part of the kindergarten program in our 4 elementaries. So the third tenet and the third key theme of our kindergarten program in Unionville Chadsford is nature-based learning. And this one's a little bit unique to our program for most public school districts. A lot of this came out of our research and reviewing research on learning in young children and early childhood learning. Also, our partnership with other local schools. Dr. Hoffman mentioned a few, and we were so fortunate to have some great partners in local schools who really prioritized this outdoor learning. And as we were building out the program, we saw such an opportunity to really give kids a chance to get outside and learn beyond the four walls of the traditional classroom. So within our program, we are looking to integrate outdoor learning. The goal is to be outside 1 hour a day. Now, that's easy to say on the beautiful 68-degree sunny September day, but a day like today, a warm coat and boots will be important. So we want to make sure our kids are prepared, but we still want them to have that outdoor experience whenever we can. This ties back to that portrait of a graduate idea of take care of oneself, wellness and wellness through nature. So much research shows that time in nature can reduce stress and anxiety, can increase creativity, can improve interpersonal skills and physical activity. So we just see it as a great way of giving kids a way to be well and to recognize how it affects themselves. We've had a lot of great partners. Dr. Hoffman mentioned a few, but everyone from Longwood Gardens to Mount Cuba to the Stroudwater Research Center has been a great team member as we've built out our programs. And for anyone who is not necessarily new to our school district, Hillendale, Chadsford, Picopson, and Unionville Elementary Schools all have wonderful grounds that they are situated on. We are truly blessed in that area. So being able to take advantage of the space, the wonderful outdoor space we have, is going to be a real cornerstone of full-day kindergarten. All right, so what's a day in the life? What's a day going to look like for my kindergartner when I drop them off on the first day of school? So a couple key pieces here. And as we mentioned before, this information is going to be available on the website. This presentation is going to be available, so don't feel like you need to start jotting down all these numbers or anything. But overall, the school day, elementary school in Unionville Chadsford runs from 9:10 to 3:40. That's for all four of our elementary schools. Students can be dropped off at school as early at 8:50, but 9:10 is the start of the actual school day. So basically, if you arrive after 9:10, you'd be considered late for that day. The daily schedule, some of the things that will fit into the daily schedule for our kids, a class meeting time. So about 30 minutes on class meeting. And that's everything for setting up the day, going over the agenda, going over things like calendar and weather and all those vocabulary terminology that get really focused on in kindergarten. Early in the school year, it's going to be a lot of time spent getting to know one another. I think about our students in our elementary schools. They spend a lot of time together, and building those relationships really can cement that classroom community and just make it a great experience. So class meeting is a great way to start off that day and build connection between students and between the student and the teacher. About 90 to 120 minutes will be spent on English language arts. That's not necessarily 91 to 120 consecutive minutes. With kids this age, we know we got to keep things moving and mix it up. But if you notice, that's the biggest number on the board. The bulk of the instructional time will be on early literacy and language arts. That being said, math, of course, critically important. 60 minutes will be spent on math. There'll also be an hour each day spent on active playful learning, so that playtime is really going to be prioritized. As mentioned before, social studies and science, that's really going to be integrated within ELA, math, and active playful learning. So while it may not be articulated specifically on the schedule, it still very much exists. Also, if you notice, it doesn't say anywhere on this calendar outdoor time or nature time. That's because we're not necessarily scheduling that. We're just prioritizing integrating that within the day. So for one day, it could be that the math lesson really lends itself to an outdoor piece. So maybe part of math is outside. Another day, it may be there's a science component through ELA that really lends itself to being outside. So that's really going to vary depending on the day, the content covered, and what everyone's talking about in class. Special area classes, as I mentioned before. So in our district, we operate on a 6-day cycle. So other than how close you are to the weekend, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday don't really make that much of a difference. What's much more important is day A, day B, day C, day D, day E, and day F. So on that rotating cycle, our kids in kindergarten will attend their special area classes. So twice per cycle, they'll have a 40-minute phys ed class. Once per cycle, they'll have a 40-minute art class. Once per cycle, a 40-minute music class. Technology once per cycle, and library once per cycle. And yes, in library, they will have the opportunity to check out books and bring them home. So hopefully early on in the school year, you'll have some eager kindergartners bring books home and asking you to spend some time reading with them. But we want to certainly get books in our hands of our kids as much as we can. And of course, we'll have a 45-minute lunch and recess period, as well as a 15-minute additional recess for a little bit more of that unstructured play, and kids can have the opportunity to connect with each other and just take advantage of our playground. So it is a full day. By the end of the day, the kids will be tired. By the end of the day, the teachers will be tired. Everyone will be tired. But that's because there's a lot of great stuff happening, a lot of learning happening, and a lot of smiles and happiness happening as well. So from thinking about our parents and all of you who are here today, one of the key questions is like, all right, how do I prepare for kindergarten? Like, what do I do to get ready? So this slide has 3 really important links. The first link is to our website. So the webpage on our district website, focus on full day kindergarten. There's information on contacts, key contacts, important dates, registration information, and also more information to come. Links to the slides for today and some of the other documents we're talking about today will be available there as well. So that's a good place to mark and bookmark and maybe check occasionally. The middle link, getting ready for kindergarten. One of the most common questions we get is, what can I do to make sure my kid is ready? My kid is prepared for K. Perhaps the most important thing you're going to hear from me today is, no matter where we are, no matter what level your kid is at, we're going to do everything we can to move them forward and help them learn and grow and make friends and have a fantastic kindergarten experience. There's no prerequisites for kindergarten other than, I guess, age. But if you, as long as you sending the kids to us, know that we're going to do everything we can to take great care of them and help them learn and grow as much as we can. That being said, there are some things that you can start working on with your kids just to help them, feel ready. So on this document lays out a few. It talks about things in the academic sense, such as, making sure they're recognizing letters and numbers, fine motor skills, a proper pencil grip, how to hold a pencil correctly, experience playing with peers, sharing toys, waiting for one's turn, no small feat for a 5-year-old at times, showing respect for one another. Also just the life skills that they'll need to do during the day, making sure they can go to the bathroom independently, putting on a coat independently. We're going to be spending a lot of time going outside. If our kindergarten teachers have to zip up 20 coats, that's going to take a little while. So just those kind of little things each day, practicing that can be really helpful. Some specific suggestions that are outlined here is read with your child. Have them read to you, you read to them, talk about books, spend time with books, because they're going to spend a lot of time with books in their K classes. And that's one of the best ways to just build those early literacy skills. Encourage independence, whether it's cleaning up after themselves, straightening up toys, any little chores around the house. Let them really own those things. Participating in small group activities, whether it's a play date or a small group activity with other peers, and just having that socialization time. Because all of that's going to happen, not just in kindergarten, but in the first couple minutes of kindergarten on day 1. So just some suggestions there that are worth referencing. And perhaps the most important link on the page here is registration. Register today. Registration opened just a couple days ago on Monday. So I would encourage you, if you've not done so already, please click on that link and begin registration. The sooner we know how many students we have, the sooner we can solidify staffing and know where our teachers are going to be. We can solidify facilities, how many classrooms we're going to need for kindergarten, and just the more prepared we'll be for your child in the fall. We want to be as ready as we can. So register today. Tell your friends. If you know someone else who has a kindergarten age child, just remind them, oh, registration's open. Go sign up. If ever you have a question about registration, please reach out to our district office, our registrar, Jenna O'Neill. She's more than happy to either help someone through email, on the phone, or invite someone in, and she'll sit down and go through any of the forms that need to be completed. We want to make it as easy as possible for people. But yeah, by all means, please register. A couple other things, some important dates that are coming up. As I mentioned, kindergarten registration opened this past Monday. Now, as per our board policy, students have to be 5 years old on or before September 1st to be eligible for kindergarten. So if your child is younger than that and they won't be 5 years old until after September 1st, then they wouldn't be eligible for kindergarten this year, and they'd be looking at the 26-27 school year. Another event we're excited about is Ready, Set, Kindergarten. That's on May 19th, 2025. Mark your calendars for that one. That's going to be a kindergarten orientation event held at our 4 elementary schools. So whatever school you'll be going to, whether it's Chadsford, Hillendale, Percopson, or Unionville, you'll get an invitation to come out to the school. Students and parents will get a chance to go into the school. They'll see the kindergarten classrooms. They may even get a chance to meet some of their future teachers, some of their kindergarten teachers, maybe, do a little drawing, listen to a story, and just hopefully leave feeling really excited, feeling really enthusiastic about kindergarten leading into the summer. So more information on that's going to be coming out from our buildings as we get closer to May, but please mark your calendars for that. Teacher assignments. This is always a popular one. Obviously, everyone wants to know who's my teacher going to be. Those assignments are sent out in mid-August. So I know we might get to the point where it's late July and people get a little itchy and they just want to know who's it going to be. We are always just fine-tuning and making sure that sometimes those late registrations come in, and we want to make sure our classes are balanced in terms of the same number of kids in each class. So usually it's in mid-August that we send those out. And the first day of school, August 25th, 2025. So that's where it all begins. So that'll be a super exciting day in our district for the first day of full-day kindergarten. Now, I want to thank everyone who submitted questions as part of registering for the webinar. And we wanted to take some of the FAQs and just go through some of those responses. And because chances are, if a couple people have the questions, there's a lot more also out there that have them or just haven't thought about it yet, but could use some of that information. So what are the before and after care options? So in Unionville Chadsford, our 4 elementary schools partner with the local YMCA. As I mentioned before, students can be dropped off at school beginning at 8:50 and dismissals at 3:40. But if you need additional supervision for a child before 8:50 or after 3:40, the YMCA does have space in each 4 of our elementary schools. It is housed in all 4 of the elementaries where students can stay for before or after care. If you have any questions about availability, the hours, cost, those really should be directed to the YMCA. There's a link on the page here for that. So the YMCA really is the best source for the before and after care options. Transportation. What does transportation look like? So district transportation is provided to and from school for all of our students. All the information about transportation, from where's the bus stop, what's the bus number going to be, what time will they be picked up in the morning, what time will they be dropped off in the afternoon, that'll all be communicated from our transportation department in late summer as those routes are constantly being tweaked and worked on. So there's buses to and from school every day. Families are welcome to drop off and pick up their kids from school. And there's always a car line at our schools. Each school has different procedures for that, just based on they all have different shaped parking lots and doors are in different locations. So schools will share those informational bits out as we get closer to the start of the school year. Another common question we got was about Pre-First. So a little bit about Pre-First. So Pre-First is a program in Unionville Chadsford that really acts as an additional grade between kindergarten and first grade. And Pre-First is really meant for those who need a little bit more time to mature and develop to be ready for first grade. It's not an academic intervention. So if a student is struggling in math, they're struggling in reading, Pre-First would not necessarily be the avenue for them, but it really has more to do with growth and maturity and making sure they're ready. As far as recommendations for Pre-First, our kindergarten teachers work carefully and closely with parents on that. So they would communicate that out with you in late winter, early spring of the school year. But as of now, Pre-First still very much does exist in Unionville Chadsford. We are going to continue to monitor Pre-First as full-day kindergarten takes off and see if there's any adjustments to the program that need to be made. In terms of location, there's not enough Pre-First classes to be located in each of our schools. So all of our Pre-First program will be housed at Unionville Elementary School. So all Pre-First is at UE. Next, what is the anticipated maximum class size? So we do have board-approved school staffing standards, and that outlines this really the size of classes. So for kindergarten, we're really looking for 23 plus or minus students or so. But once we get over that guideline, or around that guideline, that's when we would really start considering an additional section to reduce the class size. But it's definitely a research-based number. A lot of effort was put into determining those guidelines for our staffing standards, but 23 would be that number. And what security measures are in place in the school? We talk about learning, we talk about our portrait of a graduate, but without a doubt, our biggest priority is safety and security. Every day you're sending to us the thing in the world that is most important to you. And that's something that we take extremely seriously. It is an honor, a privilege, and a responsibility on our end. And keeping our kids and our staff safe is the most important thing that we do. So in terms of safety and security, everything from locks on all interior and exterior doors to communication systems, protocols in place, swipe cards, badges, hand radios, number of protocols are in place. I did put a link here. There is a page on our website that talks about our safety and security. So I would really, if you have any questions, I'd encourage you to check that out. One thing you will hear some about is standard response protocol. Those are procedures that we follow for in the event of, a fire or needing to evacuation or a shelter. So that's all explained there. So, but please know that safety of our kids and our staff is the biggest priority we have. So with that, a couple things. First, I want to thank everyone for taking the time to be here tonight. I hope you can tell just how excited we are about full day kindergarten and that it's coming. We also know that you may have additional questions. So on this slide, there's a link here. There's also a QR code. So feel free to jump in there and submit other questions on the form. We're going to use that to build out a frequently asked questions FAQ document that Dr. Hoffman referenced that will then post on our district website. But thank you all for being here, and I really appreciate your time, and I hope your kids you are half as excited as we are for kindergarten to start. So with that, Dr. Hoffman, I'll turn it back to you.
Okay, so thank you everyone for spending some time with us. I know a webinar format is challenging to have a very long webinar to pay attention and to stay engaged, especially when we have young ones at home. So we hope you found this to be informative. Again, this was recorded and will be posted to our district website and our kindergarten landing page. We definitely do encourage you to submit questions. So we really would like to have those. What that does is it drives future presentations and future information that we push out so that your transition and your child's transition to kindergarten is as smooth as absolutely possible, so that you're informed about expectations and what to expect, and that we know what it is, the questions that we have from our incoming community that we can build into future presentations, that we can build into our May 19th Ready Set Kindergarten events and other events in the future, so that we are doing the absolute best we can for you and your child. So with that, Mr. Audemars, that's all I have, and thank you all for being here, and we look forward to meeting everyone very soon. So have a great evening, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.